Stop standing still. Start living forward. Most people don't actually live 10 different years. They live the same year 10 times. Same habits. Same excuses. Same level of effort, income, and thinking. They repeat the same story, wondering why life refuses to change. That's not growth. That's survival. And standing still isn't neutral. It's expensive. Because while you wait, the world moves forward. Competitors evolve, opportunities shift, and time quietly collects interest on the lessons you refuse to learn. The cost of standing still doesn't show up right away. It hides, until one day, it appears as regret. Regret for the chances you never took, the conversations you avoided, the skills you never built. Next year won't be better just because the calendar changes. January doesn't bring magic. It brings more of the same, unless you change. Change is the only insurance against regret. And here's the good news. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to stop standing still. Improvement isn't a luxury. It's a responsibility. A responsibility you owe to your future self. Not to be perfect, but to be better. Because the only way next year rewards you more is if you become someone who deserves more. The seed of improvement is awareness. The moment you stop saying, someday, and start saying, today, life begins to shift. Growth doesn't wait for permission. It begins the moment you decide that comfort is no longer worth the cost. So ask yourself, how many times have you lived the same year on repeat? How many times have you promised change, only to drift back into old patterns? Because here's the truth. You don't drift toward success, you drift toward average. Success requires direction. If you want next year to be different, you must decide what needs to be different about you. The world doesn't reward your wishes. It rewards your value, your relationships, your health, your income. They all reflect who you've become, not what you've hoped for. So here's where the journey begins. With improvement. Improvement in your thinking. Improvement in your discipline. Improvement in your focus. Improvement in your execution. Because a good life isn't built on luck or timing. It's built on steady, intentional progress. The next 12 months will pass anyway. Whether they add to your life or take from it depends entirely on what you do with them. Time isn't your enemy. It's your amplifier. It multiplies whatever you give it. Wasted time multiplies regret. Invested time multiplies reward. Standing still costs too much. So choose motion. Choose growth. Choose to build a year that rewards effort, not excuses. The clock is running. Make sure it's running towards something worthwhile. And where does that journey start? With discipline. Because without discipline, nothing holds together. Ambition fades. Plans collapse. Motivation disappears. Discipline is the backbone of all progress. It isn't punishment. It's training. It's the bridge between what you want and what you get. Every success story you've ever admired was built on that bridge. And discipline doesn't start big. It starts small. In how you wake up. How you spend the first hour of your day. Whether you show up when you said you would. Whether you keep going after the excitement fades. These small acts, repeated daily, shape your entire life. I used to believe success required massive bursts of effort. Work hard for a few weeks, then relax. But I learned that real progress isn't born in spurts. It's built through steady consistency. Daily discipline, not occasional heroics. Missing one day seems harmless. Missing a week feels minor. But miss a month, and your old habits come back to reclaim the ground you lost. Discipline asks for payment up front. Comfort collects payment later, with interest. Every time you choose the easy path, you make a silent agreement to face harder consequences later. Every time you choose discipline, you buy freedom. Freedom from regret, from mediocrity, from dependence. Start with one small commitment. Wake up when you said you would. Read 10 pages every day. Save a small part of what you earn. Move your body for 20 minutes. The action itself isn't the victory. The habit is. The moment you can trust yourself to follow through, you've built the foundation for every other goal. Discipline isn't about controlling everything. It's about mastering yourself enough to make consistent choices that align with your goals. It's the quiet power behind every strong life. The athlete trains when no one's watching. The entrepreneur studies while others play. The leader prepares before the meeting begins. Those aren't dramatic moments, but they separate the good from the great. No one can give you discipline. Only you can build it. Others can inspire you, but only you can enforce it. No coach, no mentor, no manager can do your push-ups for you. You must decide who's in charge, you or your impulses. Discipline builds confidence. Not praise, not luck. Discipline. Confidence is born when you know you've done what was required. When you keep the promises you make to yourself, you no longer need to pretend. You walk with quiet certainty because your habits prove your intent. Most people wait for motivation to act, but that's backward. Action creates motivation. Discipline starts the motion, and momentum keeps it alive. Once you build momentum, life gets easier. Not because challenges disappear, but because you become stronger than the challenge. So before another year arrives, ask yourself, what disciplines must I build? What small behaviors, practiced daily, would guarantee growth? Write them down. Practice them. Guard them. Because when you lose discipline, you lose direction. Every dream you have depends on this one quality: self-discipline. It's the root of self-respect, the proof that you take your future seriously. Without discipline, desire stays fantasy. With discipline, it becomes achievement. Protect your focus. Build your foundation. It all begins with focus. Energy scattered across too many directions leads to exhaustion, not progress. But when you channel that same energy toward one clear goal, it creates momentum that compounds with time. Every distraction carries a hidden cost, a delay in your dreams. Every interruption you tolerate stretches the distance between you and your potential. So learn to protect your focus like treasure, because it truly is. Next year won't reward the most talented. It will reward the most focused. When attention is managed with clarity, even ordinary effort transforms into extraordinary results. So before you plan your next year, pause and ask yourself, where has my attention gone? What truly deserves it, and what doesn't? Improvement doesn't always mean doing more. Sometimes it means cutting noise, reducing the clutter that clouds your direction. Success doesn't belong to those who stay the busiest. It belongs to those who do the right things long enough without losing sight of the goal. Focus is a multiplier. When you control your attention, you control your future. But focus alone isn't enough. You must protect and renew the energy behind it. Energy is the foundation of all performance. You can't build a strong year on a weak body. You can't lead others if you can't lead yourself out of fatigue. A tired body dulls ambition. A clear mind within a healthy body creates momentum. Your body is the engine that drives your dreams. And when that engine runs poorly, everything slows down. Your thoughts, your decisions, your actions. And slow responses in a fast world cost opportunities. I once believed that success was purely mental toughness. But I've learned that energy is much more than physical. It's emotional, mental, and spiritual strength combined. When your energy is low, everything looks difficult. But when your energy is high, everything looks possible. So before setting new goals, invest first in your vitality. Without energy, even great intentions collapse. With energy, even small efforts compound. Start with sleep. Most people treat it as an inconvenience. But sleep is the reset button for your mind. You can't grind through exhaustion forever. Your body always collects the debt of rest you refuse to pay. Eventually, it sends the bill in the form of burnout, illness, or lost clarity. The most productive people aren't the ones who never rest. They're the ones who rest strategically. Next comes nutrition. Your body can't run on junk and stress. Food isn't just pleasure, it's fuel. Poor fuel means poor focus. Eat for performance, not comfort. Because what you consume either strengthens your system or slows it down. Even small adjustments here compound over time, just like financial investments. And then movement. The body was designed to move. When you move, you circulate energy. You strengthen discipline. You remind yourself that motion creates momentum. A simple walk, a stretch, a few minutes of deliberate exercise each day. It all adds up. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Because energy management is more important than time management. You can have 12 hours available, but if your energy is gone, those hours are useless. So guard your energy like capital. Spend it on what multiplies it and avoid what drains it. Even your emotions affect your energy. Worry, anger, resentment, they're expensive. They drain your power faster than physical work ever could. Gratitude, enthusiasm, purpose, laughter. These renew your energy. They restore what the day takes away. Next year will demand more from you. More focus, more creativity, more stamina. Don't expect to rise if your energy stays low. You can't perform at your best with a body that's constantly asking for help. So take care of it. Feed it right. Rest it well. Move it daily. And watch how every other area of life begins to improve. Better energy leads to better thoughts. Better thoughts lead to better actions. Better actions produce better results. A strong body supports a strong mind. And together, they create strong outcomes. Neglect the body, and the mind pays the price. Nurture both, and you multiply your advantage. Your body doesn't need perfection. It needs consistency. Treat it like a partner, not a prisoner. It's not about image. It's about endurance. Because you can't change the world if you can't get out of bed. So before next year begins, build your foundation, energy first. Everything else rests on it. Now, once your foundation is strong, the next step is improving your financial knowledge. Money is a mirror. It reflects your habits, not your hopes. It tells the truth about your discipline, your priorities, and your thinking. You can't elevate your life without elevating how you handle money. Financial improvement doesn't come from luck. It comes from control. If you don't control your money will control you. Most people don't have an income problem. They have a management problem. They earn, they spend, they forget, and wonder why nothing grows. Wealth doesn't come from what you make. It comes from what you keep. Saving even a small portion of your income is the seed of independence. The moment you start saving, you start owning your future. You stop trading peace of mind for paychecks. Improvement begins by finding and fixing the leaks. Because small leaks sink big ships. A few dollars here, an impulse there, a recurring expense never reviewed. These tiny oversights quietly steal your freedom. Track your spending. not to restrict yourself, but to understand yourself. Because where your money goes, your attention follows. Debt is another silent drain. There's good debt, and there's expensive debt. Borrowing to build capacity can be wise. Borrowing to satisfy impulse is not. Interest is the reward you pay for impatience. Learn to delay gratification long enough for your future self to thank you. Replace emotional spending with intentional investing. Don't buy to impress, buy to progress. Every purchase should either improve your capacity, extend your reach, or enrich your life meaningfully. If it does none of those, skip it. You'll never regret the money you didn't waste. Financial growth begins in the mind. The broke mentality says, I can't afford it. The wealthy mentality says, how can I afford it? The first closes the door. The second opens it. Think like a builder, not a consumer. Builders multiply. Consumers drain. Your habits around money create your financial destiny long before your income grows. Handle a small amount poorly, and more will only magnify the problem. Handle it wisely, and you prepare yourself for greater responsibility. Learn the basics: budgeting, saving, investing. You don't need to be an expert. You just need to be intentional. A simple plan beats drifting. The goal isn't luxury, it's stability. Once you're stable, you can expand. And here's something most people forget: money grows for those who respect time. The earlier you start saving, the more time multiplies your effort. Compounding isn't magic. It's discipline meeting patience. Don't envy what others possess. Most of what looks rich isn't real. Real wealth is quiet. It shows up as freedom of time, peace of mind, and the ability to help others. The car fades, the freedom endures. So as this year closes, take inventory. Know where your money goes. Plug the leaks. Build a cushion. Create a plan. And when next year begins, let your finances reflect wisdom, not emotion. Because money, when managed well, becomes a servant that builds your dreams. When mismanaged, it becomes a master that steals them. The choice is always yours. Next year won't bless those who wish. It will bless those who plan. Improvement doesn't just happen within you. It happens around you. You must not only grow, but guard your environment. Because your surroundings shape your direction far more than you realize. The people you spend time with, the conversations you entertain, the standards you tolerate, all of it creates the atmosphere in which your future will either grow or quietly die. You cannot elevate your life while staying tied to relationships that drain you. Every connection carries a current. Some lift you, some hold you in place, and some slowly pull you under. Growth requires awareness. Ask yourself honestly, who brings energy into my life and who takes it away? Who challenges me to grow and who tempts me to settle? The wrong circle can make the right dreams impossible. A weak environment convinces you that average is good enough. Stay there long enough, and you'll start defending mediocrity. But surround yourself with people who expect excellence, and soon, you'll demand it from yourself. Improvement here means pruning. It's not about judging others. It's about protecting your potential. Growth needs space, and sometimes you have to clear that space yourself. Choose to spend time with people who elevate you. Those who discuss ideas, not gossip, who plan the future, not complain about the present, who remind you of discipline, not distraction. And remember, your environment extends beyond people. It includes what you read, what you watch, where you work, and how you spend your free time. Everything that enters your mind shapes it. Feed it negativity, and you'll think small. Feed it wisdom, and you'll think strong. You can't plant roses in concrete and expect them to bloom. The soil matters, the climate matters, and so does the care. Your potential needs the same nurturing atmosphere of encouragement, challenge, and belief. And then there's the inner environment, your own mind. The thoughts you rehearse every day either build walls or open doors. Improvement begins when you curate your thoughts just as carefully as your relationships. Ask yourself, who am I learning from? Who holds me accountable? Who tells me the truth even when it's uncomfortable? Growth thrives on honest mirrors, not flattering voices. If your current environment doesn't support your next level, you'll have to outgrow it. That might mean less time with certain people, less exposure to empty conversations, and more time in solitude, study, and reflection. Solitude isn't loneliness. It's construction time for the mind. The strongest people aren't those who isolate from the world. They're the ones who design their world. They choose associations that feed their purpose and build surroundings that make success easier, not harder. So before the next year begins, clean your environment, remove what weakens you, strengthen what builds you. Create a space where excellence feels normal and growth feels natural. Because you will always rise or fall to the level of your surroundings. Build an environment worthy of your potential. And remember, next year will not reward potential, it will reward confidence. The world doesn't pay for what you could do. It pays for what you can do. Skill is the great divide between those who wish and those who win. The marketplace is fair in one way. It doesn't respond to need. It responds to value. If you want more, you must become more valuable. And value is built through learning, practice, and refinement. The day you stop learning is the day you start losing ground. Every skill you master multiplies opportunity. Every skill you neglect limits it. Talent is potential. Skill is proof. Too many people want better results without better ability. They want promotion without preparation, reward without refinement. But life doesn't work that way. Performance creates progress, and performance comes from confidence, not chance. Study your craft. Learn the details. Know more than you're paid to know. Because that extra knowledge compounds. Learning doesn't end with school. That's where it begins. Books, mentors, and experiences are your new classrooms. Each lesson adds another layer of insight that separates you from the average. And remember, adaptability is a skill itself. What works today might fade tomorrow. Those who keep learning stay relevant, and relevance is the new security. When you're skilled, change becomes opportunity. When you're unskilled, change becomes threat. The difference lies in preparation. But learning compounds only when shared. Teach what you know. It sharpens your understanding. Discuss ideas, not just experiences. When you explain something clearly, you master it twice. Don't just collect random information. Learn with intention. Study what aligns with your vision, not just your curiosity. It's pleasant to know many things, but it's powerful to master a few. So ask yourself, which skills will matter most next year? What abilities would make you indispensable? What knowledge would double your value? Start small. One book a month, one course, one focused practice session. Over time, that becomes transformation. Because knowledge alone doesn't change your life. Applied knowledge does. The bridge between knowing and doing is practice. Keep crossing it. Your competence is your real freedom. Markets rise and fall, but skill endures. The more skilled you become, the more leverage you gain, because skill gives you options. Before the next year begins, decide which part of your craft needs sharpening. Learn it. Practice it. Own it. Because when the next opportunity arrives, and it will, the prepared will always outperform the hopeful. Confidence creates confidence. Keep learning until what was once difficult becomes natural, and then keep learning again. Growth never ends. Your future is being built quietly, not in bursts of motivation, but in the rhythm of what you do every day. Resilience isn't about becoming numb to pain. It's not about pretending you're unbreakable. True resilience is strength with perspective, the ability to take a hit without losing your purpose. When something goes wrong, a resilient mind doesn't ask, "Why me?" It asks, "What can this teach me?" Life won't necessarily get easier, but you'll get stronger. Every challenge you face holds two sides, pain and potential. If you focus only on the pain, you miss the lesson. But if you look for the lesson, you discover growth. And that growth always pays more than the struggle ever costs. Adversity introduces you to yourself. You don't truly know your capacity until life tests it. Hard times reveal what comfort hides. That's why you must learn to welcome resistance. Because it's not your enemy, it's your training partner. Without resistance, there is no growth. The quality of your mindset determines the quality of your future. A fixed mindset sees limits. A growth mindset sees leverage. A fixed mind fears failure. A growth mind studies it. If you believe life is happening to you, you stay a victim. But if you believe life is happening for you, you become a student. Resilient people don't expect life to be fair. They expect it to be a test. And they prepare for that test every single day. They feed their minds with principles, not emotions. They anchor their decisions in discipline, not mood. Because when you act from principle, you stay steady no matter what happens. But when you act from emotion, you live in chaos, and chaos never builds character, it only drains it. You build resilience before the storm, not during it. Daily habits like reading, journaling, exercising, and reflection strengthen your inner endurance. They store up emotional energy for the days when life demands it most. And gratitude turns difficulty into data. It shifts your focus from what's missing to what remains. It's hard to stay bitter when you're counting blessings. So before the next year begins, toughen your mind. Detach from outcomes. Attach to effort. Control what you can, release what you can't, and learn from everything. Your response shapes your results. Weak minds see obstacles as endings. Strong minds see them as instructions. Resilience is not about surviving. It's about rising. Every test you pass expands your confidence, and confidence earned through endurance becomes unshakable. Respond with wisdom. Stand with courage. Keep your principles steady, even when everything else shifts. That's real strength. Now let's talk about vision, the lens through which resilience finds direction. Because without vision, effort turns into motion without meaning. You can be busy all year and still end up nowhere if you don't know where you're going. Purpose gives direction to discipline. Vision turns labor into legacy. A person without vision drifts. They wake up reacting to circumstances instead of designing them. They go where the wind blows, then wonder why they never arrive. You can't improve your life until you've defined what better truly means. Purpose answers why. Vision answers where. When you know both, decisions become simpler. You stop chasing everything and start choosing what fits. Don't live someone else's dream. Many people spend their lives following the crowd, then reach the end and realize they never lived their own values. Define your purpose before the world defines it for you. Purpose doesn't always shout. It whispers. It shows up in what you're drawn to, what frustrates you, what you can't ignore. Those are clues to where your contribution lies. Vision isn't fantasy. It's a blueprint. You see the finished structure before the foundation is laid. Once you can see it, you can plan it. Once you can plan it, you can build it. Vision gives your habits a destination. Purpose gives your endurance power. When you know your why, obstacles become training, not torment. Without it, even small problems feel like heavy burdens. With it, even big ones become stepping stones. Define what success truly means to you. Not to your neighbor, not to society, to you. Ask yourself, what kind of person do I want to become? What kind of impact do I want to make? Write it down. Review it often. Because a written vision guides you when emotions shift. Purpose turns ordinary effort into extraordinary results. When your actions align with your mission, every small task gains meaning. Don't wait until it feels perfect. Start with what you know. Refine as you grow. Movement clarifies meaning. Before next year begins, ask yourself, what is my vision for the next 12 months? What will improvement look like in real terms? What kind of life will make me proud a year from now? When vision is clear, effort becomes automatic. Purpose is the engine, goals are the wheels. Together, they move you forward with force and focus. The greatest tragedy isn't failing to reach a goal. It's reaching one that didn't matter. Choose goals that match your values. Because success without meaning is just exhaustion in disguise. Next year will reward those who live by purpose, not pressure. Vision defines direction. Purpose sustains it. Together, they turn your next year into a mission instead of a mystery. Now, here's the part that separates the talkers from the door's accountability. Information doesn't change your life. Execution does. You already know what to improve: discipline, focus, health, money, relationships, mindset. The real question is, will you act? Accountability is the bridge between intention and achievement. Without it, even the best plans fade. Because the human mind forgets promises faster than it makes them. That's why goals must be anchored to action, and action to schedule. What gets measured gets done. Don't wait for the perfect time. There isn't one. Start small, but start now. Read one book. Fix one draining habit. Reach out to one person who challenges you. 1 step per week. 50, 2 steps in a year, and your life will look completely different. Most people overestimate what they can do in a week and underestimate what they can do in a year. Next year will reward consistency, not intensity. It's not one massive effort that changes everything. It's the quiet daily follow through that compounds. Hold yourself accountable. No one else will care about your life as much as you should. Don't blame timing, circumstances, or others. Responsibility is the first step toward transformation. The moment you accept total ownership, excuses lose their power. Accountability means facing the mirror without flinching. It means being honest about where you are and disciplined about where you're going. Growth requires truth more than comfort. Find someone who will hold you to your word. A mentor, a peer, a partner. Tell them your goals. Ask them to check your progress. Because pressure can be a gift when it keeps you aligned with your potential. Track your journey. Write it down. Numbers tell stories that emotion hides. When you see improvement, motivation grows. When you see decline, correction follows. Improvement is not an event, it's a process. Every day you either reinforce your future or repeat your past. Don't wait for January to change. Start now. Let the new year find you already in motion. Because nothing about success is sudden. It's earned quietly, one accountable choice at a time. So make next year your year of accountability. Pick one thing, improve it, move to the next. Repeat until growth becomes natural and progress becomes expected. Time will pass anyway. Make sure it passes in your favor. The next year begins now.